Our dearest, beloved, divine friends, family, brothers and sisters, this is another of In the Raw, Arcade Sky Free Media, and I'm your friend, your host, Haji Dr. Roshan Khan. Which is unfortunate, excuse me. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is In the Raw, so anything gives. Any errors, any mistakes, any burping, excuse me, drinking some water, blowing you a kiss, In the Raw, Arcade Guyana Free Media. Now, Guyana, I'm always so amazed with certain petty, low-lifers, kind of some political maniacs and goats, the way they behave. Really pompous and idiotic, you know, some politicians, how they go on. Now this man, little boy Joe, this guy, the more you get to know him, the more we get to realize that he is a very strange character, all bent on self-centeredness, egocentricity, and total, absolute, despicable irrationality, and for self-aggrandizement, and for himself and his friends and colleagues. And this is an article from the Guyana Chronicle concerning Lil Joe's refusal to hand over the opposition leadership to his boss, the true boss, the leader of the People's National Congress Reform, the Honorable, elegant Aubrey Norton. I have nothing against Aubrey. He has never really done me anything. The man who has done me things and tried to destroy my life and my business was Lil Joe. I tell you what, I'm a very forgiving guy. I'm a nice guy, but I will not forgive him, ever. So Lil Joe, while he was trying to destroy me, was creating a power for me. Now, coming to the thing here. Here's what it says. No longer an executive member of the People's National Congress Reform, while losing the recent race to the leader of the party, as leader of the party, to Aubrey Norton, opposition leader Joseph Harmon is fighting to keep his seat in Parliament, and his support base quickly dwindles outside and inside the party. Harmon at the recent PNCR Congress secured 245 next to nothing seats when compared to Aubrey Norton, who secured 967. And so he wants to hold on to this power because there's a constitutional authority that governs the seat of the opposition leader. So he wants to use that to enjoy what is obviously the sweet of power. As the brother of Fidel Castro had said when their prime minister was fired, because the sweet of power had gone to that guy's head. And it seems in the APNU, sweet of power is in many of their heads, to the point where these guys believe that they own Guyana and they were giving it away for next to nothing to their big contractor friend, so they could ride in free planes and their family can have good life and they could eat and drink. But here is this man will not give up the opposition. He's saying formally that he will not. And this man here, look at his photograph. Here he is. My editor will put his photograph here. Here is this man. And look at his face. Look at this man. I wonder if he's chewing. Is he chewing? No, well, maybe you can't photograph, you won't get it. And here is Aubrey Norton. And look at Aubrey Norton, a gentleman, a scholarly person, versus this gentleman, a.k.a. Chua. You know? So what's going to happen? He doesn't want to give up. He's going to hold on to the last so that he could enjoy the sweet of power that the opposition leader is supposed to really have. So Aubrey, sorry brother, and try you grow up, you know, man. This man had you out there, Aubrey Norton, in a kind of a protest, He is in there eating and drinking and whining and marching and dancing the Western movie rain dance, like the Apaches, they call it Apache rain dance, but they were great people and they know how to use the rain dance to bring rains and to fertilize but here he was using his people, the Apache rain dance in a kind of a mockery and a kind of destructiveness with an ode to destroy Guyana and to disaffect us managing our oil resources. He wanted to be in there and he wanted to dance and steal the mace. Now I hope the police are going to come in and charge the necessary people who tried to steal the speaker's mace and those who were dancing and thumping and so on and preventing the work of the speaker of parliament from being properly done to satisfy the needs of the country. So let us see what poor Joe is saying. I'm going to read you now the article. It is said, form no from opposition Harmon, known as Lil Joe, to step aside as opposition leader, no longer an executive member of the People's National Congress Reform, PNCR, while losing the recent race to the leader of the party. As leader of the party to Aubrey Norton, opposition leader Joseph Harmon is fighting to keep his seat in Parliament as his support base quickly dwindles outside and inside the party, and if I may add, evaporates. He's lost virtually everything. So all he got now is the lucrativeness, the sweet of power that is leader of the People's National Congress keep on saying it's a constitutional seat. It's a constitutional seat. And only by this way he can be thrown out. And he got to wait 5 years, man. So much you hate Harmon, Aubrey Norton, Harmon. And imagine you had that man outside. You're good, Harmon, I got to give you credit. That man allowed you as the leader to stand outside and burn and sweat while you were dancing in there and eating and drinking in the air-conditioned edifice of the Artichoke Convention Center. Back to the article. You're good. I got to give credit for that and for you to be able to control the mind of the leader of the People's National Congress. It's no ordinary party, man. It's a party that got about 225,000 or something votes that give you some seats in Parliament, which is acceptable. Back to the article. Out. Let me see, really, remember this in the raw. Harmon at the recent PNCR Congress secured 245 votes compared to Norton, who scored 967 votes. Congratulations, Norton. Outside the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Tuesday in support of former Minister of Finance Winston Jordan, who was released on $3,000 bail for the offense of alleged misconduct in public office, Harmon told reporters that Norton's landslide victory will not affect his position as opposition leader. So even though the man had a landslide, he will not give up that seat for the suite of power. Remember, Lil Joe want big time suite of power. And I'm your host, Haji Dr. Roshan Khan, in the raw. The aftermath doesn't change anything, basically. It's the same decision as we had before in the same situation we have after. The fact of the matter is the Constitution provides for the leader of the opposition, and there is a process by which any change of that position can take place. And this is a constitutional process, he told reporters. So you're holding on to the Constitution, thinking that you can get a lot of sweets as the leader of the opposition, even though he didn't get any vote of any substance from the people. Back to the article. He continued, so the elections in the PNCR does not change the setting, does not change the arrangement in Parliament itself. You will recall that the leader of the opposition is representative of over 280,000 persons. Lie, confounded liar. All the fraud and the fake and the jumbies where you are put, and the crooks and the scamps, Lil Joe, who were manipulating your mingo and your bingo, and the miss lady would pick up your trash and leave to all the diplomats around the world. what is really going on? What is really happening? 280 votes. They got about 225 or 235. Who went on to elaborate and voted, and so that is my mandate. And the mandate of the leader of the PNC, separate mandate altogether. And I can imagine the chewing, you know? I can imagine the chewing. So this guy wouldn't give up. I mean, for the love of the party, for leadership and power, he's not even a member of the Central Executive Committee. The people booted him out because he was involved in a lot of skullduggery, it is alleged, according to the newspaper, media, and so on. And so this is the situation that is happening. He doesn't want to give up. He wants to eke out the last bit and suck the last bit of energy that he can get. Back to the article. The statement by Harmon, the article is reporting now, this statement by Harmon is false, as only 217 persons, was even less than 225, voted for the APNU AFC in 2020 general elections, which comprises several small parties and not the PNCR alone, precisely. It was Harmon's word in which he explained, tracing the history of the PNCR. Harmon had noted that throughout, the leaders of the party were always the opposition leader. There's a pattern of these two positions merging, he had said. During the campaign, even in the 2020 campaign, noting that the two positions being held by the same person offers a strength and power in moving the party ahead. Harmon on Tuesday also told reporters issues of recalling members of parliament is dealt with constitutionally, and this also involves representatives of the party's list along with the recommendation made by the National Assembly. I will only support a recall on the basis of performance of the MPs in Parliament. Right now, I think the MPs are doing a great job. I think that they have performed well, and they continue to perform, and they have my support. So it's a kind of trying to bribe the guys. Guys, you all are doing well. So you all don't come together and try to vote me out, right? Because once the majority shows disaffection with him and not happy with him as opposition leader, as the party done, the delegates of the party have done, they agree he was unfit, so they couldn't have put him as the opposition, as even a member of the executive committee, much less as leader. So it's only a matter of time before the other parliamentarians come up and do something, because he's trying to tell them, I like you guys, so you guys could like me. And of course, there are some people who are there who are totally unfit, and therefore Aubrey Norton, the absolute leader, the boss of Harmon, Lil Joe, might have his own people that he would want to sit in there as parliamentarians of the non-governmental faction. But this man doesn't mean to give up at all. The Guyana Chronicle, he said that I will only support a recall on the basis of performance of the MP's Parliament. The Guyana Chronicle had previously reported that in accordance with Article 184 of the Guyana's Constitution, there are a number of ways in which a member can be removed from the National Assembly, including a no confidence provision for removing the leader of the opposition. The provision, as reported previously, reads, where 1/3 of the non-governmental members of the Assembly represent to the Speaker that the leader of the opposition no longer enjoys their confidence, the Speaker shall call a meeting of all non-governmental members, at which time it shall be decided whether the leader of the opposition shall be removed from office. So it's very simple. They got to come together. They know that he's unfit, and they're causing him to do wrong things. Imagine the man manipulates so much that he even put Mr. Aubrey Norton on the road to suffer. I know I'm saying I'm the leader and I'm going to suffer with the people. And they couldn't even get 50 people. I think it's just about 50 people. Imagine that. Aubrey needs to be careful. Don't let this man use you. The people of Guyana are quite a smart, intelligent set of people. The provision continues, the removal shall be effected by the votes of a majority of all the non-governmental members. Majority. This means that there is a PNCR part. This means in the raw. Remember, I'm doing it all here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm reading from phone, not a proper document. See, it goes again. This means that if there's a PNCR parliamentary shake-up, then persons in favor of Norton's leadership could be positioned to comfort a majority, which could eventually pave the way for him to ascend to the opposition leader's chair. And I think Aubrey Norton need to be given all possible opportunity and strength to take his rightful place as leader of the opposition. And if the government could have helped in some way, I think they should. But, they are a government. We have a president, we have a vice president, a prime minister who doesn't like to interfere in the natural circumstances of things. So your friend, your brother, me, Haji Dr. Roshan Khan, in the raw, say thank you, my dear beloved, and farewell, French.